Hello and welcome to Hornbill TV. I'm Akivito. Well, Hornbill TV has been following the evacuation process of the Indian citizens stranded in Ukraine. And on this matter, Indigo Airlines is playing a massive role in the Operation Ganga that was launched by Prime Minister, in which the main aim of Operation Ganga is to bring back all its citizens stranded in Ukraine back to the country. And now at the moment, we've got this rare opportunity to speak to the Director of Communications, Ms. Chavi, who's on the line with us, and we'll be connecting with her and we'll be talking a little more on the aspects of Operation Ganga. Well, Ms. Chavi, thank you so much for coming online and being with us on this special segment, and also thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you so much for having me on.
All right, Ms. Chavi, let's starting the conversation, ma'am. How did Indigo Airlines get involved with Operation Ganga, and also how many personnels have been involved in this evacuation process that Indigo has undertaken?
So I would say it was a very organic involvement that we took up at Indigo. When we heard about the war that had broken out, and we learned that there were students and other Indian citizens who were stuck up in and around Ukraine and who needed to be brought back, and that the government is going to, the government reached out to all the airlines, including us, asking for support in bringing our citizens back to their homeland. We at Indigo have always stood by for the nation at their time of need, and there was absolutely no way that we would not, step up and take the onus to bring us back to their families. So that's how the process started. It was through a government initiative, but from there on it became our mission. It became an Indigo prerogative to bring back these citizens and unite them with their homes and families. I would say at Indigo we've had almost 1,000 people involved. It's literally been a 24/7 process, because all these flights have been planned at the spur of the moment. Where they're going to fly has been planned at the spur of the moment, and really it's been a very seamless and a tireless effort from all these people who've been involved in this process.
All right, Ms. Chavi, before I go into the next question, I'd like to salute the initiative taken by Indigo in bringing back its citizens, and thank you for doing the deedful and bringing back our citizens. Anyways, ma'am, now coming to the operations, the evacuation operations, like how is it going, and how many flights and how many people as of now have been rescued? I mean, like, let's just take into Indigo, since you represent that airline. So what has the journey been like, and what's in store now, I mean, for Indigo?
So it's now starting 28th of Feb. We are now sitting almost on the 6th day of the evacuation. As of today, if I was to count the number of flights that are going out today, we would have completed 38 flights of evacuation across cities like Budapest, Bucharest, Rzeszów, Suceava, and all of the others and Warsaw as well. So it's been one wondrous journey. We've overall, as far as I'm aware and as far as the stats go, there are about 64 flights that have been undertaken under Operation Ganga. Yes. We've done till date, not counting till now, is 33 flights. So we're sitting at almost 52%. Or majority of the flights have been undertaken by Indigo under this operation. So it's our mission, like I said, to really support our citizens in this time of need.
All right, Miss, we know that the airlines, or rather the airport in Ukraine, all major ports in Ukraine have been closed, and that the Indigo planes fly close to the borders of Ukraine, and that's where the evacuation process starts. So your team that is actually involved in the evacuation process, do they need to follow any precautions while undergoing this special operation?
Yes, so the team has been briefed. I'm sorry, I cannot really get into the details of that, but I can tell you that they have been briefed, and there are certain protocols that need to be followed. And more importantly, these flights are basically being filled in through the Indian embassies at these locations. True. So if, for example, my flight is going to Budapest, then it's the Indian embassy at Budapest which would have a list of people. They would share the list of people who would be getting aboard our flight, and we bring these citizens back. This is the information that we get. So it's a lot of involvement in that aspect from the embassy side as well as of course the government officials, etc. Yes, so it's basically our crew really does not need to get involved into evacuating these people, because these are people who are already reached the border
Yes.
and are awaiting, a passage back to India.
All right, ma'am. I'm going to be stealing a line from a Bollywood movie, but rather, how is the Josh? I mean, like you've just told us, like it's already the 7th day that you guys have been continuing with your evacuation process. So, how is the Josh amongst those employees or personnel involved in this evacuation process?
So if I was to quote back, how's the Josh, sir? It's high. I mean, really, it's been one tremendous effort. We are both proud, humbled, and really, there's so much a sense of patriotism and sort of national pride. You can see it on the flights as well when these people are coming back with our crew. The entire set of passengers have stood up and they've sung the national anthem. There are others who are displaying the Indian flag. There are these whole slogans of Jai Hind and Vande Mataram. So the Josh, I think, amongst our crew has been one of really a lot of pride. Both, as Indigo, as Indian citizens, and also a lot of humility and humbleness that we've been able to help our nation at this point of time.
Coming to a little serious part on this conversation, ma'am, we've been getting reports that all the flights that are operating under the Operation Ganga are not using Pakistani airspace, but you guys have to fly through another region. So, ma'am, is this causing a hindrance to the Operation Ganga, and also what routes are being taken to actually reach the borders of Ukraine?
Well, it's true that we've been, what you've heard is true. But having said that, we've also earlier had experience of flying. So we are not doing non-stop flights.
Yes.
We are actually doing a one-stop flight. So our flights are taking a halt at Istanbul,
Yes.
which is a technical halt where we are, refueling the aircraft. We're also uploading fresh food for the people who are to be brought back to ensure that they are well fed and they're taken care of while they're on flight. So for us, it's not been that much of a detour. We've had experience in terms of flying to Istanbul, avoiding the Pakistani airspace, and we are just following the protocol that lies ahead, that lies with this process.
All right, ma'am. Now coming to a little softer point of view, with the implementation of the UDAN, or rather the Ure Desh Ka Aam Nagrik scheme, and also with the center really implementing that connectivity in Northeast, especially in the Northeastern states among the 8 sisters, should be really strong and efficient. Is there, can the public of Nagaland expect Indigo Airlines to be operating just for amongst the Northeastern states?
So we've always had this endeavor to connect, our tier 2 towns and even the smallest of cities to each other, and more importantly to the metros. I think we are the ones who would probably connect a Raipur to a Jodhpur, or maybe like a Mizoram to a Mumbai. I think within Northeast also we have a lot of connectivity in terms of Shillong, Aizawl, and of course we're the only one who kind of fly in and out of Nagaland along with Air India, as far as I know. So yes, Indigo is fully committed to this cause. It is definitely one of our major pillars to ensure that every Indian citizen gets an opportunity to fly, and we make that dream come true by providing the flight to this person, wherever in India he might be.
All right, ma'am, before I could end this conversation, one burning matter that even me as a public I'd like to understand is, you've just mentioned that Air Indigo has completed about 33 flights of evacuation under Operation Ganga. So, ma'am, what I wanted to know was that during the start of the evacuation process, or before the Operation Ganga started, there were talks about the ticket pricing being very high, or rather plummeting, or rather inflation just happening just because of a few days of invasion. So this evacuation process under Operation Ganga, are you charging the passengers, or is this funded totally by the government of India?
So I will upfront answer you. We are not charging the passengers anything.
All right.
And it is out of the sense of duty that we've undertaken this mission of evacuation. There is an arrangement with the government of India, but I don't know the details, honestly, so I can't comment on that. But I can tell you a lot of the onus in terms of getting these flights and manning these flights, as well as ensuring that these flights are are undertaken is on the airline itself.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for speaking to Hornbill TV, and thank you so much for taking out the time. Hornbill TV and the rest of Nagaland wishes you all the best, and especially to the Indigo Airlines and all your personnel involved in the evacuation process under the Operation Ganga. And we hope that this 32 flights that you've undertaken will increase to such an extent that all stranded Indian citizens in Ukraine is actually brought back through this operation. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, and we hope in the next couple of days we'll have all our citizens back safely.
All right, thank you. All right, so that was Ms. Chavi, who is also the Director of Communications, and she represents the Indigo Airline Group. And like you've heard, you just mentioned that all the stranded evacuees who are actually returning from Ukraine, Indigo Airlines is not charging a pie, and that it's a sense of duty for all the personnel in Indigo Airlines that they have taken up this evacuation process, and they feel a sense of pride in doing what they're doing. And also, when I asked them how's the Josh among all its personnel involved in this evacuation process, they seem to be really pumped up, and they seem to be not tiring enough, and they seem to want to actually go to Ukraine and keep doing it until all Indians stranded in Ukraine are actually back in our country, India. Well, that was all for this hour's bulletin, and we hope that this conversation with our Indigo spokesperson has actually cut some doubts, and also we hope that all stranded Indian citizens can actually be brought back to India. Well, that was all for this hour's bulletin. For more news and updates, stay tuned to Hornbill TV. Goodbye.